Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our live event today. I'm Ayşe Gülçil from WWF Netherlands. I warmly welcome you all today to this live event together with my colleague Fivos Mochinalitis. We organize this live event as a part of our ongoing project, Dam and River Barrier Removal in Southeast Europe, funded by European Open Rivers Program. Our aim is to celebrate removals all around Europe, also share knowledge, experiences, insights to assist and inspire other practitioners and to take an action to remove barriers. We go live today to Sicily, Italy, and I'm very excited to introduce you to a great team today together with us, Hanna, Stefano, Giuliano, and Mariolina. Let me give a very short introduction to each of them. Hanna is a co-founder of Collettivo Rewild Sicily and a designer. She brings her design perspective into rewilding projects. She has a background in design for social impact, future studies, and science communication. In the organization, she orchestrates behind the scenes in project management and communication. She has a weak spot for creepy critters. And Stefano Coco is a filmmaker and a reality augmenter. We can see him now there. He's a true multimedia wizard disguised as drone pilot, underwater filmer, documentarist, virtual reality maker, and a graphic designer. He not only creates beautiful imagery, which we are going to see today, but makes the rest of the Collettivo feel like true digital dinosaurs. And we have also Giuliano Trentini, is the president of CIRF. He's an environmental and landscape engineer, experienced in river hydromorphological analysis and design of river restoration intervention. And Mariolina Papa is a professor of flood risk analysis and mitigation and river restoration at the University of Salerno. Her main research field is satellite remote sensing of freshwater environments. She's also a member of the board of directors of CRF. So, I would like to really start this beautiful event together with this beautiful team in the spot. It is so inspiring to see how different expertise came together around one river system. Hanna, Giuliana, and Mariolina, I'm asking you what organization you work for and how did your organization to get involved with barrier removal? Give us more information about what you do.
Sure. Thank you so much, Azigul, and for having us. We'll give you a little intro of who we are. So Stefano and me are here from Collettivo Rewild Sicily. We're a young nonprofit organization dedicated to rewilding based in Sicily. And rewilding is all about enabling nature to become self-sufficient, no? And tapping into its ecological processes and unfolding into beautiful chaos. And we, the humans, can be a part in enabling these conditions. And that often is removal of barriers, and in our case, quite literal, or other infrastructure. And rivers are an amazing element for that because they have this great capacity to bounce back in very fast time and inviting back, especially migratory species, to be part of this river system again. And our story as Collettivo Rewild Sicily, with getting engaged with dam removal, began with a love story when we fell madly in love with one of these migratory species, which is the European eel. And thanks to the Open Rivers program, that gave us the opportunity to turn our love story into practical and tangible actions. So here we are now with dam removal.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Giuliano, the president of CIRF, in Italian way, Italian Center for River Restoration. We are an NGO, 27 years old NGO, and we are promoting more in general river restoration. The dam removal is only a part of this task. And usually we work with public institutions and public agencies involved in river management, trying to promoting river restoration and in general much more sustainable way in managing river systems and using their resources like water, energy, and so on. And we work usually with advocacy, with organizing conferences, pilot projects like this one on Polina River, guidelines, and we are a part of the Wetter International Europe Network.
Very nice.
Hello, I am part of the hydraulic engineering laboratory of Salerno University. My laboratory has a long record of research in the field of flood risk assessment and mitigation. We have worked also on debris flow and topics like that. Since a few years, I became really passionate about river restoration, so I started a new field of research. Also, teaching river restoration in the environmental engineering degree, and I'm really I like very much the topic. I'm really passionate on the topic, and specifically talking about barriers, I think that we really need a new criteria to understand the evolution of the river after the dam removal, and also the evolution of flood risk after the dam removal. We have to know if the flood risk is increasing or decreasing and how to manage with that. So this is what I think is my contribution to this topic. Actually, you know, the hydraulic engineers have spent years to design criteria for check dam construction, and now we need new criteria for check dams removal. So this is, I think, a very challenging topic, and I'm really involved in that.
Yes, great. Thank you so much. It's such a nice thing to hear all these different expertise and working together in a multidisciplinary environment, which river restoration and rivers really need this kind of approach. So, Giuliano, thank you for the introduction. And I would like to let's look at the broader Italian context. So, what is the what is the current state of the barrier removal in Italy? And have any dam removals occurred already in Italy?
Okay. Unfortunately, at the time is very down the number of the dam removal in Italy. We are a very interesting experience in very north of Italy, in the province of Bosen, where the public agencies involved in the river managing have a very huge program of river restoration. And within this project, with this program, they removed tens of barriers, specifically on purpose of sustaining the trout and the other fishes present in the river. But apart this very good experience, in the rest of Italy there are not many experiences in dam removal. But our friend from Appennino, Rewilding Apennines, they removed in past years some barriers, and they are prosecuting with this their experience. And we, as a CIRF, also we have this project on Polina River. We have another project, another feasibility studies on the biggest river in Sicily. That is the Simeto River. We are trying to remove another barrier, very important, and other project ongoing in the rest of Italy, like here in Campania, on the Cilento area, the Cilento National Park. We are a preliminary study about dam removal.
Amazing, amazing. I think it's very good progress, and it's for Sicily also is a great example to see. Speaking of opportunities, let's also touch on the policy landscape. Giuliana, maybe you can give us a little bit of an idea what is the current progress of nature restoration regulation implementation in Italy, It's one of the best instruments now we can use. Are you involved in the preparation of the Italian restoration plan?
Yes, we are, because actually the elaboration of the plan is who is in charge of the elaboration of the plan is ISPRA, that is public agencies, that is the main agency in Italy involved in that define all the references for monitoring, for planning, environmental resources, and so on. So they are in charge of the development of the national plan. And we are supporting them for the part related to the river. So both Article 4 and Article 9 related to the free-flowing river. But the task is very hard, because I give you an example. This in June is going to finish the Next Generation EU, okay? And here in Italy, in the past 6 years, we spent 3.3 billion euro in works about channelizing rivers, about constructing new barriers. So all Italy is going exactly in the opposite direction of the one set by the nature restoration law. So it's a very hard task. And
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, it's good to start from somewhere, and it's very interesting, and also,
Yes,
I mean, clearly is a rapidly evolving process, right, across Europe. I mean,
yes.
everyone is trying to find the
We
best way.
need to stop the car, a U-turn, and then going back in another direction.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good luck with that. And well, actually, now I'm seeing that Stefano is sitting there, and let's actually visit the site itself. Stefano, could you take us into the field and show us where we are today?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Wow, this is so nice. Oh my God, look at that.
Okay. Can you see here?
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is the Paulina River.
Hanna, why did you choose this dam to be removed?
Why we chose this dam to be removed?
Yes.
Yeah, so we were looking for a river that has where several elements come together, no? We were looking for a river which is in good ecological qualities, and in a good ecological state. And the river goes up here. So if you go upstream, just follow us here,
Wow.
all the way to the mountains. This river is connected to the regional park of the Madonia. So we wanted a river, let's say, where it's worth it, no? That we take some care, and there is some nature and good ecological status to be protected still. Then we wanted a river that is visible, because this is going to be the very first dam removal in Sicily. So it should be a great pilot case to work on, and where people can be part of. And you can see the bridge here, this one, the bridge over there, and the big highway. So there are several ways how you have to cross the river each time. This is on the north coast of Sicily. So each time you pass from the all the north coast from east to west, you cross this river. So it is a big part. On the same time, it is also a very forgotten river for the local people, but also for associations. There's a little political attention on it. So it was like easier to work on that one. And with these three elements together, Paulina River seemed like a perfect place to work with. And then we can have some particularities of this river here. So you can see this is barrier number 1. Then we have, there is right away the river mouth. So here's the connection to the sea, where our friend the eel comes in and visit us. And then we greet them with this piece of cement, no? So there's something we definitely have to fix. And then when we go all the way up here, we see, we can see later a little bit closer, but there's a full cemented channel. So what is often done in the river mouth, no? We have cement on the bottom, we have cement on the side, and then cement as the barriers all the way until you see the big highway. It's a
Wow.
very first impression of the Paulina River. We'll have later time to get a little bit more on the picture side of things.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing pilot project. Definitely. It's a very important work you are doing right now. And of course, I mean, before the removal can happen, there's a lot of scientific preparation involved, right?
Exactly.
So at this point, maybe it is good to give the verse to Giuliana and Mariolina again to tell us what type of pre-demolition surveys you conducted, like fish surveys, hydrological surveys, etc. Are you currently performing any projects in this framework of pre-demolition? Yeah, like tell us about the scientific background. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, I want to show you this video. These silver things in the river are mullet that are trying to swimming upstream and are blocked stopped by the most downstream barrel that Hanna showed you before. And then I want to show you this picture. This is all the watershed of the Polina River. And the yellow dashed area is the part of the watershed that we reconnect, we can reconnect to the sea, removing these 10 barrels at the mouth. And we need only one more dam removal here to have a free-flowing Polina rivers. Hanna showed you that we are not in the wild, we are in an urbanized area, so we need to we are performing some study in order to ensure that removing these barriers and restoring the river, we don't are going to create problems of flood risks, for example, in the area nearby. And we started studying the evolution, the historical evolution of the river. Here on the left is Polina River in the 1954, and now, and this is the river nowadays. With the blue line is the 1954 riverbed. So we are all the river, the bed river narrowed, and this happened because of the change of the expansion of the forested area in the watershed. So less water, less sediment are flowing down to the river, and usually this with this situation, the riverbed is narrowing, and this is okay. On this graph, you can see how the evolution, the time evolution of the width of the riverbed. So in the past century, we have a 200 meters large riverbed, and nowadays we have only 50 meters. And this is important because we can't simply say that, okay, we remove the barriers, we remove the channelization, and the river will go back to the state it was in the past. Because in the meantime, the watershed changed, so it changed in the same way the river. This is the river in the 1967, and this is our project site just after the channelization works. You can see here. And so we are analyzing the past evolution. We are trying to understand which will be the new shape of the river in this stretch after removing all the channelization of the hydraulic works. And because we need to understand, okay, if the space that we have available for the river nowadays is enough to host the river, a more natural river. And we need to understand if the new elevation, the elevation of the new riverbed is compatible with the presence of the three bridges that we have, one here, and one here, and then that we have not a worse hydraulic flood risk for the nearby area. Mariolina?
Yes, and actually, as Giuliano said, we cannot simply imagine that after the dam removal, the river can shift towards the past. So this is after,
Yes.
go back to the previous one. And so we need to make some estimates on the possible future morphology of the river. This is not an easy task. We are implementing an hydraulic model, and of course, as the river is eroding and depositing sediments, and this erosion and depositing process will shape the new river form, we need to model also this process. So we are implementing a so-called mobile bed hydraulic model. We are using a model that is open source, free, that is called Basement, made by the University of Zurich. And we are simulating possible scenario of evolution in the future after the dam removal. So we will simulate the evolution of the bed profile, so the new slope, the new elevation of the bed, check if this elevation is in equilibrium and does not affect, impact the bridges. And we also study the evolution of the planimetry, seeing how large will be the new river. We want to implement a process-based project, meaning that we want to remove the dam and trigger the process, but we rely on the river itself to do the work and shape the new river morphology. But we need to make some provision of possible future asset of the river, future shape, in order to assess the flood risk that will be at the moment. We need to check that the flood risk is not going to worsen due to the dam removal. So this is a big effort. We are trying to work on this field in the next months.
Mariolina, that takes me to the question of the Polina River is an intermittent river, it says. So what does it really mean? How are these types of rivers studied, and what is the interaction between intermittency and the presence of the barriers and the fish conservation?
Yes, this is a very important point. The Paulina River is non-perennial. This means that the water flow stops sometimes and in some places. After the drying of the river, we have a different situation. For example, here you can see in this picture a picture that we shoot in September last year. So the water pond that we see here, he survived all the summer, and I think it survived all the year because after September new rain came, and therefore this is a perennial water ponds. This is very important because perennial water ponds are refugia in a dry period. But there are other reaches of the river. Maybe I have another picture here. No? Oh, okay. In which the river bed dries up completely and the situation changes, of course. This impact very much the fauna, especially fish migration. We have to check if in the periods in which the fish migrates, the water flow is connected from upstream to downstream, otherwise they cannot move in the river. And we know, of course, that climate change and especially water abstraction are impacting very much the regime of intermittency in rivers, making our rivers more drier for a longer period, making these water ponds disappear. And this will, of course, impact the fauna, especially if we are going to have rivers that dry up in the periods of fish migration, for example, anguilla hill migration along the river. So this is a point that we need to study. This interacts very much with the presence of the check dams, because check dams can have a very negative effect, because when reach of the river dries up completely, fish needs to migrate upstream in search of water, of course, and the barriers can make that movement impossible. But on the other side, check dams can have also a positive effect because of the erosion on the foot of the dam. At the foot of the dam, the check dams create a pool, a water pool that is a positive effect, of course, to have a water pool in a non-perennial river. So we need to understand better these dynamics of the absence of water. And unfortunately, we have almost no data. We have completely no data in the Paulina River, but this is a very common situation because these non-perennial rivers have been very much neglected, as they were not very important, not as important as perennial river. That this is not true, of course, because they are very important for the ecosystem they host, for the biodiversity. And therefore we don't have any data, almost no data at all about the regime, the water flow in these non-perennial rivers. So this is one of my field of study. We developed a tool, open and easy to use tool for the mapping of water presence in non-perennial river. The tool is called River Temp Classifier Tool. The tool uses the satellite data provided for free from the European Space Agency, and using this data we can monitor the presence of water, but we can do this monitoring by satellites only in rivers that are not covered by vegetation and that are wide enough. In the Paulina River we have some reaches that we cannot monitor, let's say, accurately from the satellites. So in this case we put some camera traps. I don't know if you have the pictures of the camera traps. No. Unfortunately, sorry for that. So we put 3 cameras along the river in specific and crucial points, and from this camera we record every day a video, 30-second video, and this will allow us to understand the regime, the drying periods, and of the Paulina River. In this case, it is very important that there is a water flow from the Tiberio gorges that are upstream, a few kilometers upstream, and the mouth of the river, because in the Tiberio gorges there is water all the year around, so it's perennial water, and we need to know when fish can migrate from the mouth to the Tiberio gorges, so when there is a, let's say, water connectivity in this reach. And I hope that with this camera we can gain some information on that. Thank you.
Wow, that is really amazing and fascinating, especially the interaction between the climate change, intermittency, and ecological connectivity. Yeah, without you, we would not know what's happening in the area. I want to go back to Hanna again. Let's return to the broader restoration vision for this river, Hanna. Are you planning to remove other barriers along with this one? And is there any timeline? What is the plan?
Yes. So what we've seen before, Stefano will share the drone video where you can see the entire stretch. And as we said, this is, yeah, it's a very visible river. There's a train passing by. So you can see here, this is 1.5 kilometers until the big highway. And in all of this stretch, there are 10 barriers, from which 9 we will hopefully be able to remove. 1 we can't, so we're discussing some solutions, how we can integrate it more. We will not only remove the barriers that go through the river and block sediments and fish and all the things barriers do, but also you can see the lateral sides of the river, they're also cemented. And in many stretches in this 1.5 kilometers, there's also the full river bed is cemented. So we will take out all of it. And we will do by the end of this project and the end of the year, we will finish the feasibility study, mainly all the technical feasibility study that Giuliano, Mariolina, and the team from CIRF is working on. And once we agree on that, the region is a partner, so we're then starting the whole bureaucratic procedure. And realistically, the removal will probably be 2028, 29. And yeah, our task will be to accompany this process also outside of the project life cycle that we do now, to keep attention high, to hold our decision makers accountable, and to not make people forget once again this river and what is at stake. And yeah, that's the plan for this river here. Then, of course, with the map that Giuliano shared before, you could see like the stretches that will open the removal of these 9 barriers. Of course, we already know where number 11 is, and this is future talk, but that would be great because also this one is an important one that will open again another important stretch of the river. And yeah, but this is a pilot case. As we said before, it's going to be the very first time. So we focus a lot of energy on this one to get it right. And that hopefully can inspire many other dam removal projects in Sicily and in the Mediterranean. And yes, and then in parallel, together with Giuliano, Mariolina, and some other organizations from the east side of Sicily, we're working on the Simeto River, as Giuliano mentioned, the largest river or one of the most important rivers in Sicily, on the removal of one specific barrier. It's a very different case and it's a different situation, but also that would be amazing. And it would not be, it will be amazing. And yeah, hopefully with this, we start a line with dam removal here. But on the Paulina side, we're tackling the first 9.
Great, great. Wow, this sounds really transformative, huh? At the river scale, not just a single structure we are talking about, but you are talking about many other barriers along the way. And the timeline is great as well, reaching the targets of 2030. So it's challenging timeline for all of us. And of course, people then might ask what are the benefits of these removals. I'm sure that you will end up with these questions, and probably you can tell us more about like what the benefits you expect from these removals on fishes, on nature, sedimentation, water quality, safety. Like just tell us about the benefits.
Yes. I mean, Mariolina and Giuliano already mentioned some benefits that, of course, studying rivers and from an engineeristic point of view, I think it becomes quite obvious, you know, what is at stake and what are the benefits for this river. In our case here at the Paulina, of course, we start with our superstar, the eel. This is where it all began, and hopefully it will be a great carrier for the ecological benefits of this. We hope that then by opening the river again and not only removing the barriers, but naturalizing the entire river mouth, it will have an easier entrance. We can give a more welcoming welcome when they come from their crazy journey from the Sargasso Sea and arrive to our Paulina River. They will have easier conditions to climb the river up, places to rest, and hopefully make it in greater numbers to the mountains. They still do. We have eels in the river, but it's just beautiful to imagine what could be, no? And we can be part of making the story happen. And that will be definitely the ecological benefits. The river will be reconnected to its riparian vegetation, supporting an entire ecosystem around it that currently it's just detached from by being channelized. And yeah, we're studying this and setting up a monitoring scheme because it's going to be the very first one. So we would like to bring also the evidence to encourage more people that this is actually worth it and brings the benefits that it promises. Then there will be social benefits because people don't have access anymore to this river. It's almost gone. No, there are walls, cement walls that don't keep only fish out, but also people out. Yeah. And it's important to be connected to our rivers. We hope that also it will be probably the most important one is that we'll get our beach back. That Giuliano shared also like that you can see now in how it changed the river, and we lost about 100 meters of coastline. And Sicily, as you probably all know, is famous for its beaches, and people enjoy going to the sea. And what a better argument for barrier removal than let's reclaim our beaches and make them grow. And then we have, of course, an economic benefit as well. This has potential to become a nature-based economy. We have the train station here, 4 minutes on foot, and you could walk from the river up to the mountains to the regional park in a beautiful nature hike, an opportunity completely unexplored. And that definitely is a benefit to tap into for people who live here in the territory and for people who want to come visit Sicily's nature. And then, as we've seen, the structure as it is now was planned to be maintained. This hasn't been done. So actually, we have two options now. Do we spend this money to go back in time and then have to continuously spend money to maintain this infrastructure so it can fulfill its purpose, or at least not be risky? Or do we want to spend money now and give the river its natural form back, and having the nature-led, human-enabled situation, which is probably more worth it, as we learned that nature knows better how to deal with climate change and all the things that will happen that we can't foresee in the next years, in the next decades. And probably that's a better economic opportunity right now where to invest in. But yeah, we'll see. We'll discuss this together with everyone involved. But I think the benefits are quite clear, and we're seeing, what is at stake, and hoping to facilitate the conversation towards a direction that makes sense and is beneficial for everyone now and in the long run.
Of course. I mean, you listed this benefits so well, and that's what we are trying to tell everyone as well. Like every dam removal brings this benefit, but also like this whole set of socioeconomic benefits and nature benefits, but not to nature only, not to European eel only, but the people around the river, and this whole opportunities for also tourism, and it's a high sector in Italy, so, and in that area especially. So it's amazing. It's a powerful reminder for healthy rivers benefit for both nature and people. So we are not just talking about the river restoration, but also talking about people get benefits from that. Then community support. Community support is also essential for this kind of projects. So my next question will be related to that. So how the local community involved in this project, and are they in favor of or do you face any opposition? So tell us about that a little bit.
Yes. So we always start on the ground. We started this project with presenting our ideas at the local municipality and trying throughout the project to create several opportunities where we can get in touch with people and they can be slowly accompanied in engaging with this idea. We did a documentary in the very first part of it, where we went around and interviewed people about the historical memories, because this was done not so long time ago, no? So the memory luckily is still there, and people could share that with us. This was a lot about the eel, which was our main protagonist and like a conversation opener. But from these conversations came out that people are very aware of what happened to the river. They know that these barriers were like the beginning of the end. And it's beautiful that all this knowledge is very ingrained in people. Like, we didn't go and say, we want to remove these barriers, what do you think? It was a different conversation, but everywhere this emerged. And then there was a particular thing or element that I think is very present, and it's important to acknowledge. The next step is, the barriers are the worst thing to the river, and it would be amazing the river can come back if we remove them. But we will never do this because we're in Sicily. So there's a strong disbelief in change. And on the same time, there's a huge hunger for that, to see that things are actually possible. And I think there's an important part in this project that it has the capacity to challenge this disbelief in change. And it's a true transformative power if you can make things possible that are so concrete, literally in this case, and that people can be part of this story, you know? So we're organizing events at the river and inviting people in, and treating all of this more like an open construction site, an ideal kind of construction site, which will turn into an actual and real one. And that is a truly transformative power, which I think sometimes is very underestimated, especially in a territory like here. And so, yeah, there is a strong agreement that we should remove this. The cementification of river is not a good idea, but it's a disbelief that it's possible. Working on that. And then, of course, I think that's also absolutely to take seriously is the main concern is connected to flood risks, because we all learned that barriers there to protect us from floods, no? None of these barriers is an anti-flooding barrier, but this is a narrative that we all, I think, grew up with and learned that. So yeah, we need to take this seriously and go over and over again to explain that this is not the case, and what are alternatives, and be subtle and soft with this conversation that needs to take its time, and that's okay.
Yeah, you're right. And it's actually, you are quite lucky with the community perspective as well. And then you are communicator, and so it's important also like how you communicate with the local people. And it's also very encouraging to hear that local knowledge and local voices are central to the project, which is something really we need to communicate more. So finally, I come back to Stefano, who is there, and let's talk about communication and storytelling. And given your specialties, Stefano, I'm sure you have something in mind, unique ways to share the project and its future results with the public. Can you give us any hints, ideas on that?
Yep. Yeah, we about the river, we did just I can show you some multimedia stuff we did about the story about the river, and this one. Yeah. We did a documentary
Yes.
about to tell the story of the river, and about the problem of the barriers, and all the story of the hills, and also about the community that is a relation with the river. And also we did a 3D model with the drone photogrammetry to show the river, and also to bring the river inside the offices of the authorities to tell them about the story. Yeah. You can navigate all the river. And also we did some 360 photos about the barriers and some points of interest of the river. And also you can, through Google Maps, you can navigate inside the river. And right now we are okay. We are preparing an interactive video to tell our project, our aim to remove some barriers, and we are working on it, so stay tuned.
Wow, that is amazing, amazing, and it's incredibly innovative. And also, we look forward to seeing these tools develop. And it's also a great idea to show the authorities with a kind of like a real life example. And with this technology, of course, we can do that, right? And yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I would like to thank all of you. I don't know if there's anything you would like to add to what we discussed. It's an amazing project. It's a great example. It's fantastically shown. And thank you to all the team. Would you like to say some few words, or we can maybe wrap up?
If you like, we can show you the picture of the camera trap that was not available before.
Sure, of course.
It's only 1 minute.
Yeah, let's have a look.
This is our small camera trap. And this is one of the person of Rewild Sicily, Enrico, that is placing the camera.
This is great. Fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, it was fun actually. We enjoyed it very much.
Every little action is a contribution to the project and the success. So and every person who has a passion about this. So it's amazing, really. I would like to wrap up and thank you all our speakers today and everyone who joined today, made time, and I'm really happy that we get to know each other, and looking forward to go to Sicily with the open rivers.
You are
And
welcome.
yeah, I would like to ask Fivos if there's any question on YouTube. Fivos?
Nope.
If there is no question, then yeah, I think that we can close, and we hope that this conversation offered insights into the opportunities and challenges on river restoration and barrier removal in Italy and beyond. Please also continue follow our Dam and River Barrier Removal Europe movement and Open Rivers program channels to stay updated and future progress and events. And thank you again, and goodbye.